hate to break this to you, but did you know that 1 in 5 landlords fall victim to tenant scams? Now, you might be one of them right now and don't even know it. I'm going to expose 9 sneaky tactics some tenants use to take advantage of landlords. Now, stay tuned to find out how to protect your property and your bank account. I'm not saying all tenants are dishonest. Most are absolutely fine, but there's a growing number who exactly know how to play the system. And the truth is, unless you stay sharp, you might already be getting taken for a ride. So let's dive into the most common scams and how to stay one step ahead. Scam number 1 is fake employment and income references. Now, a good tenant should be able to prove they can afford the rent, right? Well, dodgy applicants know that too well, which is why they fake pay slips, dodgy employer references, and even make up companies. And it's more common than you ever think. In fact, there are online services now where people can buy fake references for under £50. What can you do? Always verify employment directly. Ring the employer. Check the domain of the email, or better yet, ask for 3 months pay slips and bank statements to match. So never trust, always verify. Now, scam number 2 is partial deposit payment promises. Now, watch out for tenants who say, "Can I pay the rest of the deposit next week?" Or they can't pay the full deposit up front. It's a huge red flag. Whether it's one excuse or another, they're either unable or unwilling to commit financially from day one. Letting them move in without a full payment is so risky. If they default later, you'll wish you never bent the rules. So tip, no keys until the full deposit and first month's rent is paid. End of. Scam number 3. The tenant switch. Here's a sneaky one. A tenant applies, gets accepted, but when you go to hand over the keys, it's someone else standing there. Sometimes it's a partner, sometimes it's a mate with no paperwork. Either way, this is a form of tenancy fraud. If the person living there isn't the one you vetted, you've got no clue who's in your property. So tip, do you hand over in person or via video with ID in hand and match it to the tenancy agreement? Scam number 4. Bouncing checks or bogus transfers. We're in 2025. You shouldn't be taking personal checks from anyone. If a tenant pays with a check or cash or claims they've done a transfer that hasn't landed, don't hand over the keys. Certified funds only, that means cleared bank transfer or verified payment via your rent collection system. The tip is no money in your account, no keys out of your hand. Now, scam number 5, utility transfer lies. A lot of landlords include in the tenancy agreement that the tenant must put utilities in their name, but unless you check that it's actually being done, you are still liable. Tenants might say they'll do it later, then you end up footing the bill for council tax, water, gas and electricity for weeks and months and years. And no, you can't legally cut it off once they've moved in, even if they haven't paid a penny. Tip, switch utilities into the tenant's name before key handover. Now, that might not be practical, but try and do it. Get confirmation from providers. Scam number 6. That is the ESA excuse, emotional support animal. UK landlords, pay attention to this one. Emotional support animals aren't a legal exception under the UK law the way they are in the US. If your tenancy agreement says no pet, a tenant can't bring in a dog and say it's for anxiety. Unless they can prove it, it's a registered assistance dog under the Equality Act 2010. It's still a breach. So the tip is, ask for documentation if they claim the pet is a legal exception. Otherwise, it's a tenancy breach. If you haven't given permission, then it's not in agreement. Scam number 7. I get paid late excuses. So the rent is due on the date in your tenancy agreement. Full stop. Don't fall into the trap of waiting because they say, I don't get paid until the 10th, or my boss messed up my payroll again. Some tenants use this to drag things out, and before you know it, they're 2 months behind. So the tip is, stick to your rent collection dates. If it's 7 days late, issue a rent arrears letter. Don't delay. Scam number 8. Fake injury or disrepair claims. This one is bold. A tenant falls behind on rent and suddenly they've tripped over a loose tile or are threatening to sue you. They might say, if you don't withdraw the eviction, I'll make a personal injury claim. If they were genuinely injured and you were at fault, they'd have documentation like letters, reports, photos, but many of these claims are empty threats designed to make you back off. Tip, keep written records of all repairs and inspections. If they make a claim, ask for evidence, and don't panic. Scam number 9, the deposit for rent swap. This is a classic. End of tenancy comes, tenant is behind on the rent, and they say, oh, I'll need my deposit back early to move out. Don't fall for it. If you give that deposit back early, and they're likely to stay put, and you've lost all leverage. In the UK, deposits are legally protected and must only be returned once the tenancy ends, and deductions, if any, are sorted. So the tip is, no early returns, ever. Deposit stays protected until the tenancy is over and the keys are in your hand. So just to wrap up, look, not every tenant is trying to scam you, but enough are that you need to stay sharp. The best defense, solid referencing, crystal clear tenancy agreement, and a process you stick to every time. If you've been hit by one of those scams and dodged a bullet, let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up or hit subscribe. We've got loads more tips coming to help landlords stay in control. This video was actually requested by a lot of landlords, so we're giving you what you've requested.